want to shed some light for you on the mental side of the game. You know, I grew up in a time where all of a sudden there were mental golf coaches. Bob Rotella writes a book. He's one of the most popular, but there are other mental golf coaches. And what they're teaching you are things like to stay in a positive frame of mind and to not get frustrated and to keep an optimistic outlook. And if you can maintain a calm demeanor, you're going to perform at your best. Now, you know what that sounded like to me? A bunch of bullshit. And that's because of this. Look, golf is a difficult game. You are going to get frustrated. There are times where you're not going to have such an optimistic attitude. There are times where the game is going to defeat you. Well, according to these mental coaches, at that point, you've lost. But if you look at the greatest players that have ever played this game, you know, Tiger won a lot of tournaments dropping F-bombs on the tee boxes.
6, I meant to say.
God damn you fucking prick.
Oh.
Well, no more commentary necessary.
That made my commentary look pretty mild.
He was not necessarily playing in his optimal state of mind as a human, but clearly in the optimal state of mind as a competitive golfer.
God, Tiger!
Now, what I learned was this. One of the reasons why we get frustrated, one of the reasons why we don't trust our swings, one of the reasons why we don't have an optimistic outlook on where the ball's going to go is because we've seen it fail too many times. You're not wrong to think that you're going to hit a bad shot, especially if you're trying to apply a lot of traditional viewpoints on the swing. Now, this is what happened for me. I'm playing Division I college golf. I'm already a solid player. I'm trying to learn how to grow my game. And all of a sudden, one night on a range, I start to discover an easier way to hit the ball. And over a couple years, I'm developing this and I'm seeing that the technique is performing better than my mental attitude. So even though I might have been frustrated, I was still hitting good shots. Even though I was not optimistic because I was uncertain of the shot I was gonna hit, I was still hitting good shots. There were times where in the middle of the downswing, I'd feel like something was wrong and I'd just say, oh God, let's see what happens. And sure enough, I'd hit really great shots. And I would think to myself, wow, I feel like what I'm doing is giving me a wider margin for error so that I don't have to thread a needle every time I swing a club. And then because of that, it's increasing my optimism that I'm gonna hit a good shot. Because even when my mind doubts my swing, I'm still hitting good shots. And it was at that point that I realized that there is a higher level of mental aptitude in golf. You see, if you're living in a state of mind where you have to be in the calm demeanor and you have to maintain a positive outlook and you can't get frustrated in golf, you're gonna have a hard time doing that if your technique is not consistent and repeatable and easy to perform. What I discovered for myself was my mind all of a sudden had the burden and the stress of doubt and frustration removed from me because I was gonna hit good shots regardless of what my mind thought. So then my mind started to contribute to my game, where my mind was applying ideas of visualization and imagery to give me more accuracy and creativity on the golf course. My confidence was robust because my mind was no longer feeling the burden of having to micromanage the swing, but instead my mind could focus on exactly where the ball was gonna go. And it significantly improved my game. It's like the missing cog, where, of course, if you are dealing with an inconsistent swing and you have no repair for the swing, sure, trying to not get frustrated, trying to keep a calm demeanor is probably going to help you to play better. But it's not a realistic request for somebody who's passionate about trying to perform well. Now, fortunately, you don't have to worry about it. It was one of my great joys in my life where all of a sudden I'm coming into the ball. I can't tell you how many times this happened. I'd be coming into the ball and I'd say, uh-oh, something seems wrong. And with the traditional swing, I'd be coming in and I'd get that same feeling and I'd look up and sure enough, something was wrong. But then when I started doing what I teach, I'd come in, uh-oh, something's wrong, and I'd look up and the shot was nearly identical to what I was intending to hit. And it immediately calmed my mind. It immediately calmed my demeanor because now I had something I could go play the game with. And it wasn't about whether or not I was going to hit a good shot. It was about whether or not I was going to hit the correct shot or make the putt. Now, you can have this for yourself too. You don't have to live in the antiquated ideas that you have to trick your mind into hitting a good shot. Instead, when you apply the system that I teach, the mind's responsibility isn't to hit the ball. The body's responsibility is to hit the ball. And you preset the body in the setup position. So that way the mind can take care of what it does well, which are things like visualization and imagery and precision, focus. And then you'll play better golf and you'll be happier to boot. Thanks for watching, and stay connected for more tips and updates by following me on social media. And if you're really serious about improving your game, check out my online golf school, JimVenetosGolfAcademy.com. Right now, golfers are cutting their handicaps in half with the system that I teach. Links in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time on the practice tee.